Hey, Michael Rayburn here, your mortgage engineer, and I hope everybody is doing well and starting their week off on a great note. Couldn't help but stop and think because I have been getting a lot of phone calls and questions being asked on what on earth is going on with rates. Why is everything so volatile right now? What's happening? And I kept thinking about it and thinking about it, and finally it occurred to me the other night. I think what it was I was watching something on TV and it jogged my memory that what 14, 15 years ago, back in '08, I think 2008, the movie Dark Knight, and that one scene where the Joker is talking to Batman and he says, "We're like an unstoppable force meeting an unmovable object." And that line has just stuck. One of the famous scenes in there when because the two of them, they just wouldn't, neither one of them would relent and kill each other because of this being an unstoppable force meeting this unmovable object. And that's pretty much what's happening right now with rates. We have this unstoppable force meeting an unmovable object, and they're just duking it out right now. And the way that you can compare this is, on one side, this one force is saying, hey, we've got a strong economy with job creation. We're seeing low unemployment rates, still at what? I think it's 4.1% is the last I heard. Still historically low. We see inflation hitting the 2.1%, which is what the Feds have been wanting to see all along. We see a healthy economic growth. I think the past quarter was 2.8%, which was nothing to sneeze at. So you think about that one force, and so the investors then are excited to hear promises with the election being over that taxes are going to be cut even deeper by all. We're going to go back to what was happening a few years ago. They're thinking that we're going to have more job opportunities that will be created, and there's going to be more flow of money in the economy. Thus, investors, as a result, we're seeing huge gains in the stock market and in higher yields. That's all great. That's super. But then there's this other force, this other unmovable object that says, hey, we're still seeing high prices at the grocery store. We're still seeing high prices at the gas pump. Housing rents are continuing to climb. Housing is still pretty much unaffordable. They see this huge national deficit that continues to climb, and they think that because of the promise here of mass deportations, that national debt is only going to increase even further, resulting in, you guessed it, higher inflation. So the bond world, they're reacting by decreasing bonds, which is rates, the cost of that bond, which results in an increase in interest rates. So this force then is thinking that the country is living way beyond its means and that we need to still be careful. So the result is we still see a higher interest rate in the bond world. So these two different forces they keep going back and forth with each other. One's thinking ahead, one's trying to be more realistic, one's trying to be cautionary, but we still see as a result this decrease in inflation currently right now, and the Feds are being optimistic about that. So at the end of last week, we saw 25 basis points in reduction of the federal fund rate, and the bond world reacted in a positive way, just slightly. But did the bond world react as a result of that inflation data coming in lower, or did the bond world react because the election was now over and they're starting to see some more promises down the road? We don't know. Or maybe the investors in the bond world thought that maybe they overreacted just before the election and now they're settling things back down. Again, you've got this one force hitting another force, and they're both looking at things from a completely opposing point of view. But now, on a positive note, though, we got to remember that the mortgage bond world, which is what our focus is in the housing, they have a tendency to want to look at strictly data. Every once in a while, we do see some emotional sentiment coming in. They'll be more cautionary. And personally, I think at times we overreact to the market. But as a rule of thumb, they are data sensitive. They do want to look at the numbers, what's actually happening, and then they adjust accordingly. So the bottom line is, can we control any of that? Nah, we can't. There's really only three things that we can control: our actions, how we react to that information and the data that's coming out, and three, our own mindset. And so if we react, though, in a negative way, and if our mindset is to just throw our hands up in the air and not do anything, well, we're not going to get anywhere. Our mindset then is more negative. But if we're just trying to do what it is that we do best at, what we know in our life, when we can look and react in a positive way. In fact, that saying, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. So again, if we're reacting in a positive way, we continue to plan and move ahead and stick to our goals, we're going to be fine. Rates will drop. They will go back down. When, how, we don't know. Probably may not even really know until the spring. But look at the good things here. We aren't in a recession right now. We don't see that happening. The Feds have been fighting that hard. We do see inflation dropping. So what's going to happen in the future, we don't know. It's out of our control. But we can control our actions. We can control how we do react. And we can keep our mindset positive. In fact, I thought one good point to keep in mind, too, is that all of us struggle, especially the last few years. We all have. The realtors have, title escrow officers have, insurance companies, lenders as myself. Yeah, we've struggled. No question about it. Life can be a struggle. But you know what? To be successful, it's also a struggle. You have to work hard at it. So really, when you think about it, it's a choice. Our mindset is a choice. Are we going to struggle in our minds and be negative about it? Or are we going to struggle because we're going to continue to work hard, set goals, stick to our plan, and move forward? The choice is ours. What are we going to do? So what's going to happen tomorrow? What's going to happen this week? The rates did drop on Friday. I hope it continues to do so. I'm going to live my life on that positive viewpoint. If it goes up, I don't know why. I'm not an investor. I can't predict it. But I do know that if we continue to move forward, things are going to work out good. So anyway, on that note, you keep smiling, keep working hard, keep planning, keep those goals ahead of you and work towards those, and things are going to eventually work out. So you guys have a great week, great day. We'll talk to you later. Bye.